contributions to the UNCC Learn program, as well as from the UNCC Learn team. UNCC Learn is a One UN initiative bringing together 36 multilateral organizations for the promotion of climate change learning, which was launched in 2009. Its secretariat is hosted by UNITAR, the United Nations Institute for Training and Research. Let me now introduce our first speaker, Mr. Angus Mackay, who is the head of the UNCC Learn Secretariat and director of the Division for Planet at UNITAR.
Well, many thanks indeed, Christina, and welcome all to this celebration for the UN Climate Change Learn alumni. So congratulations to the 100,000. Frankly, we're here and I think we should give them a hand. How's that? Well done for finding the time and the commitment to join the ranks of the climate literate, which is no small achievement because what you have done is more than just register on a website. You've done that, but you've also selected and enrolled in one of our courses. You've completed that course. You've been objectively tested on your knowledge and you've passed. Therefore, you got yourself a certificate of completion, all of these things. And perhaps also you've started to create change in your lives and those around you as a result. So well done indeed. So it's been said before, and it will be said again, that this is an important milestone, both because it shows what we can do as a UN system together, but equally because of the opportunity that this success presents for the future. And as UNITAR's executive director has said on more than one occasion, we need to be thinking in the millions in order to be truly transformational. Because it takes many different types of professions to run and sustain the world in which we live. Yes, it takes civil servants and politicians, but also engineers and architects, teachers, university lecturers, bankers, investment managers, musicians and artists, and many others. Now, the focus of UNCC Learn has been, since our beginning about 10 years ago, very much on the public sector, on supporting, for example, climate change negotiators and national policymakers, and then managers and technical specialists who are working in different branches of government. And this is still very much the case and still very much our focus. But as the gravity of the climate emergency has increased, CC Learn has inevitably recognized that it needs to reach out more to others, to other professions, so that now at UNCC Learn, we talk about building global climate change literacy in a much broader sense than before. And a particular case or example I'd like to share with you is the teaching profession. Now, there are more than 100 million teachers in the world, and each one of these teachers holds the potential to influence not only their students, but also the parents of those students and the communities in which they live. So it's an enormous lever for change. And if we can find ways to reach these teachers and provide them with the knowledge, the materials, and above all, the confidence that they need, then we will have built a means of turning the tides on the climate emergency. I want to thank the 30 UN agencies and other global partners that make up the UNCC Learn family. 10 years ago, in the margins of a global climate meeting, these partners decided to create a single entry point into the UN system where anyone and everyone could freely access climate change knowledge, whether it relates to human health or agriculture or urbanization, transportation, energy, any other area. And this remains the purpose that underlies the partnership today. And we stand here because of that earlier commitment made 10 years ago. I want to thank the government of Switzerland that has been supporting CC Learn over the years, and this through the Swiss Development Cooperation, and that has allowed the partnership to grow and to leverage many other projects, programs, and resources. And so we're particularly delighted to have SDC represented here for this celebration. And we're also proud that CC Learn has been able to give back a little to the people of Switzerland through particularly a program called the Youth Climate Dialogues, which brings together schools from across the world, including Swiss schools, in live debates. Finally, I want to thank my team at the UNCC Learn Secretariat. They have worked tirelessly over the years, 6 years now, to build, populate, sustain, and grow the learning management system that hosts all of the courses that are available now. And it's been a great privilege to work alongside you. So this is also your day to remember, and I hope to cherish. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angus. The UNCC Learn e-learning platform that we are celebrating today currently offers 27 different courses on climate change and green economy topics, ranging from climate science and international negotiations to sustainable diet and sustainable finance. All these courses are self-paced and available for free in 8 languages. But what goes into the development of these courses? What do they offer? The following behind-the-scene video will provide a quick overview. Almost there. Just 1 second.
When you take a UNCC Learn course, you're getting a quality-driven product made by climate change experts drawn from across the UN system. You are also joining a growing alumni of engaged and motivated individuals who are changing mindsets and behaviors across the world. Our survey suggests that nearly 90% of our alumni change their behaviors as a result of completing one of our courses. About 80% become better climate change advocates.
At the UNCC Learn, we bring together more than 30 entities from across the United Nations system. We work together with other international organizations and the private sector to develop the most up-to-date and high-quality content on climate change and in fostering a green and climate-resilient development.
All the courses and webinars featured on our e-learning platform are built by content experts, backed by the latest methods in instructional design. Through hands-on activities, theoretical exercises, videos with experts, as well as voices and stories of people in the field.
You've confirmed that I went through this because I lit the fire.
It's about a young girl in Kenya who was...
Our courses are carefully designed to provide you with the knowledge you need to take action, while also holding your interest as you learn.
In terms of UNCC methodology, we really believe that user experience is important, and that is why we are always assessing and evaluating our courses.
Tackling the climate crisis while building a greener future requires knowledge, skills, and a collective approach in shaping the world that we want to live in.
Our story has only just begun, and we have big plans for the future. We look forward to continuing the journey with you by reaching for a continuously improving learning experience.
Today, UNCC Learn courses provide learning opportunities to over 335,000 registered users from all over the world. The top 5 countries for number of registrations include Brazil, followed by Colombia, Mexico, India, and Peru. However, the platform gathers interested learners from 198 countries. By promoting global climate literacy, UNCC Learn directly contributes to the implementation of Article 6 of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which highlights the importance of climate change education, training, and public awareness. We are very pleased to have Mr. Ovais Sarmad, Assistant Secretary General and Deputy Executive Secretary of United Nations Climate Change Secretariat, connected with us via Zoom to mark today's milestone. Mr. Sarmad, you have the floor, I believe. Perfect. Thank you for being with us.
Good afternoon. Very, very pleased to see you. Good afternoon, Nikhil, Angus, colleagues in UNITAR, and especially the UNCC Learn team. It's a great pleasure for me to be with you, representing our Secretariat, UNFCCC Secretariat here in Bonn, to celebrate together with you the 100th certificate of UNCC Learn this year, which is also the 10th anniversary, as you just pointed out, of the UNCC Learn. And we're extremely proud, grateful, thankful to the entire team for doing what you do in rolling out this very innovative, extremely valuable training program around the world, and for which we are truly grateful. And you have participated in many of our meetings and contributed to the learning process, and we're very grateful for that. In 2012, just a bit of background, at our 8th Conference of the Parties, the COP8, the countries adopted the so-called Doha Work Program on Article 6 of the Convention. And since 1992, when our convention text was adopted, Article 6 has been an integral part of our work. And you already mentioned Article 6 of that also, and let me briefly talk about what that is and what it means to us. It has 6 key areas: education, training, public awareness, public participation, public access to information, and international cooperation on these issues. These 6 priority areas are crucial for the success of our work in tackling climate change. And the importance of climate change education in particular, also linked to SDG 4, in particular Target 4.7, Sustainable Development and Global Citizenship, is also very well reflected in Article 12 of Paris Agreement, which is also very, very relevant. Given all of that, it is very important that public at large has access to information and learning on climate change. Only if public understands the connections between the way we live, the way we work, the way we produce and consume, the way we cope with changing weather and rain patterns, heat in the cities, droughts and storms, and in turn, the impact of climate change that has on our health, our livelihoods, the health of our children, the food we eat. Only if we understand how it is all interrelated and interconnected do we have the kind of climate democracy that we need to all together ensure a safe present and a future for our planet. This understanding is needed to accelerate the transformation that we need, as agreed by all countries of the world in December 2015 with the Paris Agreement, and closely linked to the entire framework of the SDG 2030 agenda, which Nikhil, the executive director of UNITAR, who's with us, very well knows about, and he was actually one of the main pen holders of the SDG 30 agenda. We have seen in the past years how youth have taken to the streets to demand stronger and more decisive climate action from governments, from the world leaders. This movement is based on living the experience of climate change closely every day, and understanding, as I said, that human activities are the cause behind the climate change implications that we are seeing all around the world. The Doha Work Program that I mentioned will be completed this year. Currently, the national governments are reviewing it and will decide about the next phase of our next big conference, which will be held next year in Glasgow, which is referred to as COP26, which was supposed to happen this year, but because of the pandemic, that has now been postponed. We remain grateful to the support from UNCC Learn, which has provided by helping many countries to develop and implement national climate change learning strategies. UNCC Learn, as we know, supports related work in 30 countries, but principally in Sub-Saharan Africa, and also in Central America, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia. I would like to thank all participants of UNCC Learn courses and would like to encourage all of you to share what you have learned with your friends and families on your social media networks, and also share your stories of what you have done differently after learning about climate change. I would sincerely like to congratulate all the 100,000 alumni who have completed the CC Learn course over the last 5 years, and would encourage all of you to encourage your friends to join the learning community, to the virtual classrooms, organize webinars, tell your classmates, offer your teachers to share your learning in presentation, start your own projects. Because we need every one of you, no matter your age, gender, no matter where you live, to join us in this cause, to share the learning, to observe and learn continuously, and to become agents of change. And as we have all seen, unfortunately, in the past 6 months, the pandemic has added another challenge to our lives, threatening our health and putting livelihoods at stake. But the climate emergency has not been interrupted. The concentration of greenhouse gas emissions in the Earth's atmosphere keeps rising. Despite the lockdowns, we keep contributing to the extinction of animals and plants at unprecedented rates. And we have seen the many dangerous impacts of climate change, including the new records of heat and fires around the world that has been broken. So our work has not stopped, and therefore your work should not stop either. And we must continue to do our utmost to address the climate change emergency that we all are experiencing. Until we may gather again in person, let us use books to learn, let us use our phones and computers to join online classes and webinars and connect with others around the world to advance our understanding of challenges and find solutions and courage to address the crisis. Finally, I'd like to really most sincerely thank the 30 UN agencies and other partners for their ongoing support for the Action for Climate Empowerment, as well as for recurrent support from Switzerland, SDC. We look forward to continuing our collaboration with UNCC Learn, following a decision on ACE at COP26, and hope to catalyze the next 100,000 or even larger group of participants and UNCC learners, as I would like to call them. Again, thank you very much, Nikhil, and all of you at UNITAR, and especially the UNCC Learn alumni who have joined us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sarmad, for your kind words and comments, remarks on UNCC Learn. Continuing to talk about the alumni and the learners on the UNCC Learn e-learning platform, they form a varied audience. Among them, 80% come from developing countries, about 50% are women, and around 45% are young people between 21 and 30 years old. When taking a course, users can benefit from a series of different functionalities that help to adjust the learning experience to their needs. For instance, facilitating accessibility for individuals with impairments, allowing the use of different devices, or supporting offline learning. These functionalities continuously evolve and build on UNITAR expertise in the latest e-learning methodologies and efforts to promote inclusiveness. I'm now very pleased to invite our next guest speaker, Mr. Nikhil Seth, Assistant Secretary General and UNITAR Executive Director.
Thank you. Thank you first for all of you for being part of this celebration And thank you for all who made this celebration possible, particularly in the UN CC Learn team. Before I share some of my thoughts, I wanted to read a message from the Secretary General, which I have just received, to commemorate the issuance of the 100,000th certificate of completion through the UN CC Learn platform. I quote, "Climate education is crucial for raising the ambition we need to address the existential threat of climate change. I have been very encouraged to see the way that educators around the world are becoming more involved in climate change, in particular because of the increasing role of youth in demanding greater attention to the crisis. In that spirit, it gives me great pleasure to recognize the work of the One UN Climate Change Learning Partnership. Since 2010, the UN CC Learn has been making the UN's vast knowledge and expertise more easily available to people around the world, particularly in developing countries and countries in special circumstances. The partnership has now reached a milestone. More than 100,000 learners have successfully completed a free online course, and more than 50% of these learners are women. This adds 100,000 informed voices to the cause, with increased knowledge, skills, and above all, the motivation to advance climate science, sustainable infrastructure design, responsible investment, and other key dimensions of this challenge. The task is now to scale up this effort and to build a global movement that can help us fulfill the promise of the Paris Agreement. I congratulate the UN CC Learn partnership on this achievement and thank the government of Switzerland for its long-standing support for this important work, unquote. I also want to thank the 100,000th certificate beneficiary, Ana Luisa Mendes Villaca, who is a 21-year-old from Brazil. Congratulations, Ana Luisa, for being the 100,000th. Of course, it's not like a lottery where you're going to get $1 million, but you are the 100,000th recipient of the certificate, so congratulations very much. Let me just share my own thoughts, because it has often come to me that our UNITAR has so many online platforms. But what is it so special about UNCC Learn? I often talk about moving from the hundreds and the thousands to the millions of learners and beneficiaries, because that's the scale at which the world needs learners to change behaviors and mindsets, to take the world on the trajectory we want it to go. Why don't we achieve that in everything we do? And what's so special about UNCC Learn, which has made reach over 330,000 learners, and of course, 100,000 have completed coursework to be able to claim the certificate? The first thought I had is content. We've got the best brains in the business in 30 plus UN organizations to sign off, to contribute to this wonderful platform. So we're getting the best knowledge available to the people we need to reach. Second is the quality of the instruction and the fact that the team here in UNITAR, which leads this process, UNCC Learn team and Angus, have put in a lot of thought in instructional design. We've got to think of ways of making learning fun and addictive. Some industries, especially social media and gamification, have learned how to addict people to their apps and to gamification. thanks to little innovations like that thumbs up in Facebook, or the push notification when you get that pling on your iPhone. You want to see, hey, who's getting in touch with me? Why shouldn't I see what good I've done? We are learning those innovations now in learning, and some of these have been introduced in UNCC Learn. So content, learning and instructional design. And the third is that we have been demand driven. There's a tremendous demand for learning about climate change out there in the world. Everybody feels that they know something, but not enough about climate change. And the fact that through these 27 courses, we've been able to partition climate change learning and target the audience that we want to target. You mentioned some of them, Angus, whether it's the business sector or academia, and our ability to tailor make these courses to suit the audience is the third ingredient, the third magic ingredient of making this platform successful. But we need to keep innovating. There's a lot of innovation taking place out there. And I'm seeing this wonderful program on the role of virtual reality and how that makes a difference to the quality of retention of the learning. And maybe there are some areas we need to experiment even more in this wonderful platform to make it even more penetrating, even more change bringing to all our learners. So these are the ingredients which have made for the success of UNCC Learn platform. But of course, all this cannot be done without support. And I would like to express my very sincere support to STC and the government of Switzerland and some other countries. France and Sweden, through the Strategic Framework Fund, have also contributed to make this platform what it is today. It's not as if it's big money, but every little counts in this effort to match the supply of what we can provide, the technology and the demand out there. So thank you, Switzerland. Thank you, France. Thank you to other contributors, Sweden and the Strategic Framework Fund. I want to thank the alum. It's not an easy process to get this certificate. It's a bit of a struggle, migrating or sort of navigating your way through your courses, completing them, and then being eligible for the certificate. So thank you for your perseverance and your patience, all 100,000 of you who have gone through the painful efforts that are required to complete these courses. As I was saying, our digital space is changing very rapidly, and it is my hope that we will, in the future, in everything we do at UNITAR, not only on climate change learning, be able to modernize our learning methodologies and our learning pedagogy to suit what Oves mentioned, the new world in this era of COVID-19, where so much is being done with the use of digital technologies. How long can people sit behind a screen? How well do they learn? What are the new tricks the instructors have to be able to teach? How long can you hold the attention of a person who's sitting behind a screen? These are the things that all of us have to incorporate into our instructional design and to our instructors to make this change happen. Reference was made to the Sustainable Development Goals. And I've always said that, yes, our climate change efforts, which approaches the problem from the greenhouse gases side, and the SDG approach, which looks at human hopes and human fears and human aspirations in very different ways, have to be twinned, because after all, the end objective of both is the same: prosperity, security, along a sustainable trajectory. I just wanted to, while we're talking about the CC Learn today, also mention that we have an SDG Learn platform, which over the COVID period, I would say from March till July, has the offtake of that has increased from 5,000 to 50,000. So they're catching up climate change, And I hope one day we have as many learners on the SDG platform as we have on the climate change platform. These are all ways of expressing the same thing. We talk about the green economy in some context. We talk about sustainable development. We talk about climate change, but all are leading to that one safe, secure, and sustainable pathway for human progress, for human prosperity, and the sustainability of our little planet. So I hope we can, by expanding what we are doing in CC Learn, by twinning it with all the activities that we're doing on SDG Learn, we'll be able to get to that million number, which has always been my aspiration. And that's what I've been pushing UNITAR towards. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nikhil, for your remarks. UNCC Learn celebrated the issuance of the 10,000th certificate on its e-learning platform in June 2017. Today, 3 years later, we are celebrating 10 times this number. As already mentioned, this would have not been possible without the continuous support of the government of Switzerland. It is now my pleasure to introduce Ms. Janine Kuriger, Head of the Global Program, Climate Change and Environment of the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, who is connected with us via Zoom. Ms. Kuriger, you have the floor.
Yes, can you see me?
1 second. 1 second, we are just adjusting the camera. Perfect.
Good.
Welcome.
Very well. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the speakers, all the representatives from the UN organization, and all the trainers and trainees. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to attend today's event and to share some of the thoughts on the UNITAR UNCC Learn journey on behalf of the Swiss government. We congratulate UNITAR and its partners for the impressive achievement of 100,000 certificate of course completion issued. We also extend our congratulations to all the trainees who have successfully completed the course and invested a lot of time in order to improve their knowledge about climate change. Ambitious and effective climate change actions require climate literacy. SDC attaches great importance to awareness raising and capacity building as a prerequisite for dealing with one of the most important global challenges humanity is facing today. Capacity building is a very powerful instrument fostering behavioral change and equipping people with skills that they can put into practice in their respective context. But capacity building also needs stamina, and the achievement of behavioral change is not always straightforward. Therefore, we are happy that our institution provides us with the possibility to engage in long-term partnerships such as the UNCC Learn. The UNITAR UNCC Learn represents a unique opportunity for advancing climate literacy. By engaging 36 multilateral organizations, the initiative is able to draw from the extensive and specialized knowledge available within the UN system, and to thereby addressing also a lot of the cross-sectoral issues that climate change brings about. What is it that makes the initiative particularly attractive for us as a donor? From a development perspective, fostering climate literacy faces important barriers that needs to overcome. First of all, cost and access. UNCC Learn, being a self-paced, free of charge offer, allows for reaching out to more people, including the disadvantaged segments of the population. Secondly, there are also some linguistic barriers. We've heard it before. The courses are today available in 8 languages, and therefore the trainings are able to bridge also many linguistic barriers that exist. And last but not least, the program turns out to be very cost effective overall. So the overall cost of per certificate is actually $19.85. So it's really a very moderate cost considering the important impact that we can achieve. We are pleased to see the continued high interest in the UN-CC Learn partnership. Indicators are the steady and recently skyrocketing rise in subscription number, but even more important, the high number of people that have actually completed the virtual training courses. Hence, the 100,000 completion certificate issued that we are celebrating today also testify that the trainees attach a practical value to the skills that are being promoted by the initiative. Switzerland has been a proud supporter of this collaborative initiative since its early days, and we remain eager to see how the joint effort can now be brought to the next level. It is our hope and also our expectation that the remarkable success of the initiative that we celebrate here today will allow to also broaden the basis of those willing to financially support this flagship collaborative initiative. The need for capacity building a la UNITAR UNCC Learn has not diminished at all. To the contrary, bringing other contributors to the table will allow to further scale up and cater to the ever-growing demand for capacity building at different levels. For the future, we hope that the UN-CC Learn partnership will be able to maintain its agility and service orientation, and that many more satisfied trainees will be able to contribute to ambitious and effective climate action that the world needs so urgently. So I would like to thank you for your attention and once more congratulations on this important achievement and efforts to make the world a better place for all. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Kuriger. It is particularly significant that we are speaking with you today from the premises of the World Meteorological Organization, which also hosts the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, two key institutions in addressing climate change. Our next guest is Dr. Elena Manankova, Deputy Secretary General of the World Meteorological Organization, who has been supporting UNCC Learn since its early stages.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for giving me the floor. First of all, great to see my friends and my colleagues here, but also those which I cannot hear, but I greet everyone who is following from behind the screen. Thank you, Nikhil, thank you, Angus, and thank you, Oves, whom I've seen. Well, I'm part of the family, and I was just very proud to be really with UNCC Learn from the very, very beginning. And then I happen to be the chair of United Nations Climate from 2011. So I really know how this baby grew and how it became as it is right now. And I think it is one of the most successful UN initiatives. I'm really very happy. So from all the things which we have developed as one UN, the UNCC Learn really achieved what we didn't even dream about that time ago. And especially it started during the Copenhagen, when the world of climate change was very difficult. And now, after 5 years, you're saying that you have delivered 100,000 certificates. We couldn't even dream about that at that time. So really a remarkable achievement. Congrats. Thank you very much. Thank you also to partners who put their knowledge into this platform. And thank you for CC Learn for taking this all and sharing this so generously with the people who are eager to learn. We don't do it in double. You can do it much more. But it is powerful, so really great. Thank you to Switzerland. So without contribution from the Swiss government and SDC, that would probably be very tricky and difficult. I wouldn't say impossible, but Switzerland always comes to invest where the things can change the world. And that is the one. So really very, very impactful investment. So the Secretary General congrats statement, which Nikhil read out, quoted actually, it also speaks at the end of recent report of United in Science, which we just started doing 2 years ago. That was second issue. Why I'm mentioning this? From the beginning of UNCC Learn, it was not immediately apparent where to take information, who is the authoritative source, who possesses best knowledge, and how to pull this all together. So we were doing this in a very ad hoc way. Today, UN report on United in Science will help in the future development of curriculum of CC Learn, because we know all these prime institutions who are now not only willing, but really sharing this knowledge themselves. It's very helpful. But also this report says that over the last 5 years are warmest from the record. I mean, this is no surprise. We keep warming. And this is last 5 years when we have achieved 100,000 certificates. So the report also says that the next 5 years, we will very likely see 1.5 in 1 year or one period of this period. What I'm trying to say, I've heard from Nikhil and from Angus and from others that we really need to scale up this effort and really go viral now with the learning which we have developed. We need to be much faster in learning and acting than the climate is warming. Then we can really see the action. So whatever WMO can do with our scientific community and with other institutions to help to reach out doctors, communities, farmers, so they all need this information. So let's celebrate 1 million in next 5 years. No, it's possible. It's possible. You know, every day, global population. I looked yesterday, 300,000 new births. So we're a little bit behind. We have to be faster. All right. So I know we can do it. Thank you really very much. Congrats. Let's keep working, and we are with you. Welcome to WMO House also.
Thank you, Dr. Manankova. As you heard, the UNCC e-learning platform was launched in 2014. At the time, this was a very innovative tool designed to host one single course and hopefully reach 500 learners. However, exceeding our expectations, in September 2017, we actually celebrated 100,000 registrations on this platform. Mr. Vincent Coté, who was the coordinator for UNCC Learn program in 2014, will recall how all this went back then. He is connected with us via Zoom as well. Hello, Vincent. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Very happy to be here to celebrate this important milestone for the UNCC Learn, or UNCC eLearn, actually. Yeah, as Christina was saying, you know, I remember when I first joined the Secretariat, you know, we had this incredible dream of reaching out over 500 people with a platform in the first year. And I remember feeling that this was very ambitious and, you know, wondering like, will we manage to do that? And you know, for a while, I think that this is, you know, how we thought we were going to go, until one day something happened. I think that for me, it might have been the worst and the best day of my whole time at the Secretariat. Getting at the office one day and realizing that all of a sudden I have hundreds of emails of people saying they can't reach the platform, and also of our web provider, our hosting service, saying that they actually shut the platform down because there was some suspicious activity going on. So of course you can imagine, you know, how much we panicked, and we thought, well, have we been hacked? Like, are we gonna, you know, send the malicious emails to our participants? But you know, just doing some research allowed us to actually realize that the platform had been shared at that time, I think, by one of our partners, probably the Climate Convention, and all of a sudden it had gained incredible visibility, and thousands of people had started registering. And actually our provider found that this was suspicious and thought that we had been hacked and shut the platform down. So, you know, on this day, this really was a paradigm shift in my head. You know, I realized, oh, this is not us trying to push information and to, you know, push knowledge into people and convince them to act. It's actually the opposite. It's actually users and learners from all over the world who are telling us that they want to have more information, that they want to have more access. And, you know, this event really showed us that we needed to step up our game, basically. And, you know, within the end of the year, we had thousands of people registered. A few years after that, 10,000, now 100,000. I'm just curious, what are the next steps? I think the next step is, as a lot of people have said already, is upscaling, making sure that everybody can get information. Maybe eventually, ensuring that the experience is as personal and as personally useful for a user. But I think that looking at the road that's been traveled, I think that there's only good stuff coming up for UNCC Learn. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Vincent. It is indeed incredible to see how things have evolved since 2014, and the increasing number of partners from the UN system, the private sector, learning institutions that have joined this journey. It is even more exciting to realize that the learning opportunities that we have provided over the past few years have led to concrete changes in behaviors. Looking ahead, we hope to continue to grow and to offer knowledge and inspiration to many more people, empowering them to build a more sustainable future. And now, to conclude, we would like to launch a new challenge to mark the 100,000th certificate milestone. I would like to invite Mr. Colm Hastings from the UNCC Learn Secretariat to present it to you. Thank you very much for being with us today.
What does the word challenge mean to you? Have you ever taken part in a challenge? And if so, what inspired you to do it? Perhaps it was on social media. Maybe your friends were doing it, maybe both. Perhaps it was for a cause that's close to your heart. Or maybe you simply had nothing better to do that day. Now, some of you can recognize this. It's a picture of people completing the Ice Bucket Challenge taken in the summer of 2014 as a challenge went viral across the world. But that was over 6 years ago now. And how many of you can remember what it was actually for? Today, we celebrate UNCC Learn's 100,000th certificate of course completion. It's a remarkable achievement, but we want it to be remembered. So today, we are asking you to take part in a different type of challenge. One that has meaning, one that has lasting impact. Because behind each of these 100,000 certificates, there lies a story. Now, for some, it could be a story of the pursuit for knowledge. For others, it could be a story about a journey of change. Each of us has our own story to tell. Everyone in this room, everyone that's watching now online, we want you to tell us yours. There's a chance to add your voice to the climate cause, a chance to inspire others. Because collectively, we can generate a force for climate action, a tidal wave of voices brought together by the power of learning. So tell us how our courses have changed the way that you think. Tell us about the actions that they have inspired you to take. Join the challenge of 100,000 stories for climate action by submitting your story today. Now you can submit your story in two simple ways. First, you can post it on Instagram. Just download one of our templates, post the story into your own account, and just remember to tag UNCC Learn in it. Or you can visit our new website. There you can submit your story by following the links that are now on the homepage. All of your stories will be compiled, recorded, and showcased, both on our website and on social media. We then select the 10 best stories to feature on the UNITAR website and at the next climate change meetings that are due to be held in the UK next year. Finally, the author of these 10 best stories will each receive a unique certificate, certifying them as a UNCC Learn champion. So there you have it. The challenge has been set. You have 30 days from now to complete it. So submit your story for climate action. Inspire others. Because now, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. That was remarkable. Thank you.